Hey guys, this is Elle from Tacos and Shawarma. This looks like a good video. We're going to watch it together. Let's react to her. She said that 93% of women are undateable. Do you agree or disagree? Let's see what she has to say. Hopefully she doesn't hate women. She doesn't look like she hates women. Let's see. Let's see what you got to say.
63% of men in the United States are single. And no, it's not because they're players, they're picky, or emotionally unavailable. It's because the dating pool isn't filled with women who are ready to build. It's filled with women chasing something else. Validation, independence, status, and personal freedom.
Yes.
All at the cost of actual connection. Let's be honest, being a good man doesn't get you very far anymore. Not when you're up against a culture that's told women they don't need you, shouldn't trust you, and definitely shouldn't center their life around building something with you. Feminism, at least the version of it we see today, has told women that a good man is optional, but self-fulfillment, that's sacred, that his needs are secondary, and that compromise is oppression. And if you're a man that's looking for a good woman, one who still values partnership, respect, and building something real, you're not crazy. You're just living in a culture that makes you feel like you are. But here's what they don't tell you. Those women do still exist. They're just not where you're looking. They're not loud and they're not trending. And contrary to all of those women, they're not trying to prove something to the world, but they are watching, waiting, looking for a man who leads, listens, and lives a life of purpose. And the reality is, you may not be the man that they would choose yet. And in this video, I'm going to let you in on how to avoid toxic partners and actually find women with the values that you're looking for. But first, as always, when I'm considering ideas, I get your opinion. And per request, before we get into the video, I added a segment where I ask my husband the questions that you guys wanted to hear from him. And he had no idea what the questions were to come. So this is actually interesting.
Well, I'm 0 for 3 on relationships starting from a dating app. I just think it's a real processed food way to go about finding a relationship. I don't think you'll find a man or woman of the caliber that would lead to a healthy thing on a dating app. It's very surface level, superficial, very hard to build connection that way. I'm not saying it's not a good trial by numbers approach to meeting as many people as you could and maybe people you wouldn't meet otherwise, but if you choose to go that route, you have a lot of things in mind when you finally meet these people, and the most important of which I think is, what are your values? And what values are non-negotiable for you in a relationship, and what dynamics need to be in place for you to feel free and peaceful in a relationship. And don't be afraid to stick to those. See, I'm saying that because I didn't have those throughout my dating days, and that led to a lot of dysfunctional relationships. I didn't even know really who I was and what I was all about and what my values were. I found all those things in my marriage with Kate, but I found time after time going about dating in that way, whether it was using dating apps or social media or otherwise, it just led to some very unfulfilling outcomes. And I think that's primarily because people on those apps aren't looking truly for anything long term, and a lot of people don't even know what they're looking for, and that makes it very hard to find a relationship that's going to pan out long term and be fulfilling in any way. So I think you have to know yourself, and I think the best way to meet people is in person. Now, admittedly, Kate and I did meet via the internet. My experience on those was very frustrating. Once I did kind of develop and do a lot of inner work, I had a hard time finding people who were even willing to have a conversation of any depth or substance. So I wouldn't recommend that for a man who has strong values and knows who he is and wants a very long-term committed relationship filled with respect, loyalty, intimacy, vulnerability. I don't recommend you trying to find that on a dating app. I went through several failed relationships, and it was a pretty every relationship had a different flavor, but the outcome was unfulfilling. And I think as far as bad dates go, yeah, I think we've all been on some bad dates. I'm lucky to have not been on many bad dates, but most of the time I could tell within 5 to 10 minutes if someone was going to be, if we were going to have a good conversation, or if there was anything there in terms of any depth. And I asked
Okay, I'm just going to say this. I think that the people that you want to sleep with and the people you want to marry are just not the same people. And that's why people have a hard time dating, because you can't find both in one. It's always one or the other. So I think that's like the major problem that people face in dating. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments.